8 broadcasts, talk shows, talent competitions, dating series, children's programming, game shows. At the time, they looked like ordinary television. But behind everyone was something producers ignored, networks buried, or that audiences would not learn for years. Murders, convictions, suicides, financial ruin. Each entry on this list gets harder to watch the more you know. And the first turned a daytime talk show stunt into a crime scene in 72 hours. In 10th place, a daytime talk show promised a harmless surprise. On March 6, 1995, The Jenny Jones Show taped the episode titled Secret Crush in Chicago. Scott Amateur, a soft-spoken Michigan man, confessed his affection for his friend Jonathan Schmitz in front of a laughing studio audience. The segment played as light entertainment until what happened next. Within 72 hours, Schmitz bought a shotgun, drove to Amateur's home, and killed him in his kitchen. The 911 call cited humiliation from the taping as motive. What viewers did not see was that producers had vetted Schmitz only through self-reported background checks, ignoring the participant's personal history and the risk of public embarrassment. The Gut Punch, Warner Brothers, the show's producer, and its corporate parent, Time Warner, also owned Court TV, the very network that later broadcast the trial, earning an estimated $350,000 in ad revenue from the fallout. The civil jury awarded Amateur's family $29 million, but the verdict was reversed in 2009, setting a precedent that TV producers were not liable for off-air violence. When you rewatch the episode, you are watching the moment that seeded decades of debates about reality TV ethics, profit, and the cost of manufacturing spectacle. Number 2. American Idol's 5th season delivered the kind of viral audition moment the franchise was built on. Paula Goodspeed, dressed in pink and beaming with nervous excitement, stepped onto the stage and declared herself Paula Abdul's biggest fan. Judges and audience alike laughed off her off-key performance, turning her into a punchline for millions of viewers. But what no one at home saw was the paper trail of warnings sent by Abdul herself, phone calls, memos, and formal complaints, all flagging Goodspeed's years of obsessive behavior and repeated threats. Internal emails from 2004 and 2005 show producers were fully aware of the risk, yet they allowed Goodspeed to audition, citing no legal barrier and the potential for dramatic television. 3 years later, in November 2008, Goodspeed was found dead by suicide outside Abdul's Beverly Hills home, her car filled with fan memorabilia and handwritten notes. The gut punch is this: the show's own star had tried to keep her stalker off the air, but her warnings were overruled for the sake of ratings. When you watch that audition now, you are not just seeing a bad singer, you are witnessing the moment a network chose spectacle over safety, ignoring a direct plea from its own talent. Number 3. VH1's Megan Wants a Millionaire introduced Ryan Jenkins as just another wealthy bachelor vying for reality TV romance. The show's slick editing and playful confessionals painted Jenkins as dramatic, but viewers had no inkling that his casting file included a Canadian conviction for domestic violence assault from 1997. In April 2009, producers reviewed a background check dossier that labeled the offense as non-violent, noted the conviction was completed, and crucially stated that no restraining order was on file. Meeting minutes reveal a chilling calculation. Jenkins was kept on for his edge, with executives deciding the risk was acceptable given his narrative potential. The series premiered in June 2009, drawing millions. Then just weeks later, Jenkins's wife was found dead, and he became the subject of an international manhunt that ended in his suicide. The gut punch. The red flag was never hidden. It was reworded, downplayed, and filed away in the pursuit of ratings. When you watch those episodes now, you are seeing a network gamble with a known abuser, willing to risk everything for a spike in viewership. Number 4. Nickelodeon's early 2000s sketch shows delivered a steady stream of slapstick gags, quirky characters, and inside jokes, and an entire generation grew up laughing at Dan Schneider's signature brand of kids' comedy. Behind the scenes, though, the network's hiring practices were anything but childproof. In 2005, an internal audit revealed that staff vetting relied almost exclusively on a single national fingerprint check, a process that failed to capture criminal records from states or jurisdictions not linked to the federal database. This blind spot was not theoretical. Within 2 years, both Brian Peck and Jason Handy, employees with direct access to child actors, were convicted of sexual offenses and child endangerment, respectively. The disturbing detail hidden in the footage itself is this: every joke, every sketch, was produced under a safety system that left the door wide open for predators. Nickelodeon's brand was valued at $1.2 billion in 2005, yet the company opted for the cheapest possible screening. The gut punch came later. Only after public convictions did the network overhaul its policies, bringing in third-party vetting and annual rescreening. When you revisit those old episodes, you are not just seeing childhood nostalgia, you are seeing the cost of institutional neglect, hidden in plain sight. Number 5. On Halloween night in 1992, BBC One aired Ghostwatch, a pseudo-documentary that presented itself as a live investigation into a haunted house. The broadcast leaned into realism, featuring trusted news anchors and unscripted reactions, and it drew in 13 million viewers who believed they were witnessing actual supernatural events unfold in real time. Within 48 hours, the BBC's hotline logged over 2,800 calls from distressed viewers, many reporting panic attacks, nightmares, or children refusing to sleep. The impact did not end with the credits. In 1998, Martin Denford, a 16-year-old who had watched Ghostwatch repeatedly, died by suicide after months of anxiety and insomnia. A coroner's inquest in 2000 explicitly linked his death to the psychological trauma caused by the program. The gut punch, internal BBC memos show that producers had flagged the risk of mass distress before airing, but prioritized the show's educational value and genre innovation. Regulators responded by amending the UK Broadcasting Code, mandating clear warnings and an explicit divide between fact and fiction in live-style programming. When you revisit Ghostwatch today, every shaky camera angle and offhand joke about fear sits under the shadow of real-world harm, a broadcast that left not just viewers, but the entire industry haunted by its consequences. Number 6. The Jerry Springer Show aired its usual brand of televised confrontation on April 12, 1997. Ralph Bouchard and Nancy Campbell Panitz faced off on stage, their argument escalating in front of a cheering crowd. What viewers did not see was the legal warning buried in the show's own paperwork, a restraining order issued by Campbell Panitz against Bouchard 3 years earlier. Internal producer emails, later revealed in court, show that this red flag was marked as an administrative error and cleared to keep the segment on the schedule. 4 days after the taping, Campbell Panitz was found murdered in Bouchard's Chicago apartment. Police files documented a signed confession and forensic evidence linking Bouchard directly to the scene. The show still aired the episode, despite knowing about the restraining order and the off-air violence that followed. During legal proceedings, a producer admitted under oath that the restraining order had been flagged, but was dismissed in the rush for ratings. The gut punch, the show's duty of care failure, was not a matter of hindsight. It was written into the production log. In 1998, the show quietly changed its policies, adding mandatory court checks and dialing back direct confrontations. Watching that episode now, every on-air insult and audience laugh sits atop a legal document that could have prevented a killing. The spectacle did not just manufacture drama, it ignored a warning that cost a life. Number 7. The Price is Right turns everyday contestants into instant celebrities with confetti, cheers, and the promise of life-changing prizes. The big wheel spins, the crowd erupts, and a new winner leaves the stage, clutching keys to a car or the deed to a dream vacation. But the applause fades quickly once the IRS letter arrives. What the broadcast never shows is the moment winners realize their free haul is taxable income, often at rates that swallow the prize, and then some. In 1994, a family who won a $150,000 car package faced a $48,000 tax bill, forcing them to sell the car at a loss and still come up short. In 2002, a retired teacher's home makeover led to foreclosure after the tax bill hit. By 2015, a couple who won a $200,000 cruise declared bankruptcy when the IRS demanded a cut. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, about 12% of winners end up in severe financial distress because of these hidden costs. The gut punch is this. Until 2019, CBS gave no on-air warning about tax liabilities, and the policy only changed after a wave of complaints. Watching the show now, every showcase win carries the shadow of a financial trap, a moment of televised generosity that, for many, became a ticket to ruin. And finally, in first place, Nickelodeon's Pickle Guy sketches aired as pure, goofy fun. Brian Peck, in a green suit, mugging for the camera, tossing jokes to a crowd of kids. But by 2004, Peck had been convicted of a felony sex offense involving a minor. What viewers did not know was that as his conviction became public record, Nickelodeon executives debated whether to pull the segment. An internal memo from 2005 spelled out the stakes, noting that Pickle Guy contributed $2 million annually in ad revenue, and that removal may harm third-quarter ratings. The show kept rerunning his segments until 2007, citing contracts and viewer demand, even as advocacy groups filed complaints with the Federal Communications Commission and demanded his removal. Court documents show Peck was sentenced to 5 years, but the network's pre-recorded content kept him on television, visible to millions of children for 3 years after his conviction. Only after mounting backlash and the threat of regulatory action did Nickelodeon overhaul its policy in 2008, promising to suspend any on-air talent convicted of crimes against children. The gut punch was that a children's network knowingly left a convicted child offender on the air for the sake of $80. When you watch those reruns now, every laugh track and pickle pun is shadowed by a corporate calculation that put profit above the safety of its own audience. Across all 8 moments, one pattern is undeniable. The spectacle of live TV often masked deeper failures, ignored warnings, unchecked risks, and profit prioritized over well-being. The disturbing detail is not what aired, but what networks concealed. That tension still shapes what we see and what we are never meant to know. Drop your thoughts below.